Unboxing of a Chinese diesel heater to be installed in this high-tech Sprinter camper van. Formerly had a Planar Russian diesel heater that lasts about 5 years. So replacing it with this cheaper Chinese one to see how it performs. The Russian Planar has a really quirky controller that I didn't like. This is really difficult to use. So although I think I can fix the heater, I'm just going to go and install a brand new one from China. It weighs about 16 pounds. I usually try to avoid anything made in China, but I don't have much of a choice unless I pay about 1,000% more for one made in Germany, because none of these are made in the United States. Why they call this a car parking heater? I don't know. Cars don't use these kind of heaters. They're usually for semi-trucks and RVs and boats. First thing that shows up from the box is the big tank, which I don't need because the Sprinter 2007 on up has a diesel tap into the existing diesel tank. So I'll probably just give that to somebody. Or I could use it for emergency diesel storage or something like that. Although better than the Russian instruction manual I received with the Planar, this Chinese one has a very like toilet paper thin instruction manual with very small illustrations, so they could have done a better job with that. I haven't read this yet, so we'll see how that goes, but I don't like this whimsical type instructions for something like this. Usually I want bigger illustrations, but the illustrations do look detailed as far as the quality of the lines, instead of really bad kindergarten sketches like many instructions are. The unboxed heater itself has a smaller intake and a smaller exhaust than the Planar by a little bit. Has some mixed writing on top, Chinese and English. The color looks more gray, but in the Amazon ad I thought it looked more white. Model HYD2, 1 to 8 kilowatt. The brand is really hard to see. I have to move the camera around to pick it up. Saipayoi or something. It's supposed to be 5 kW. It's marked as 1 to 8 kW, and it's significantly seems to be made cheaper and lighter than the Planar. So I'm kind of having second doubt. I'm having a negative opinion about whether I should do this or not, because the quality seems to be much worse than the Russian made one. But like I said, one of the main things I was concerned about was the controller. If I can have a much better controller, it looks like it's scratched up, but that might be a protective cover on there. So yes, it has a protective cover, so I'll just leave that on there, but that shouldn't be scuffed up so much already. The remote control also seems to have some protective cover that's scuffed up, but I like this movable thumb protector so you don't accidentally turn it on and off when the remote control is in your pocket. So I paid something like $10 or $20 extra to get one with the remote control. The fuel pump looks about like as expected for being made in China, just insignificant. Here's the raw accessories box before I take anything out. The exhaust pipe also looks extremely poor quality. You can just bend it with one finger and disform it. It's really lightweight. I don't think this is going to last very long. But unlike the Planar, it does have a nice redirect airflow adjustable. So that's very, very nice. The only very nice thing I like so far. This one has a fuel filter, unlike the Planar. So another advantage right there, a fuel filter, very good idea. The Chinese one beats the Russian by including a floor plate, a floor mounting plate. Excellent, very excellent idea. I like that. So, all right, I'll make another video in the future when I get this installed. It's raining right now, so I might have to wait a day or two. Let's see, because I don't have a shop yet. I'm really concerned about this exhaust. Maybe it'll be okay, I don't know. I'm used to much heavier duty than that. And this is the silencer. Feels about average. Fuel line to run to the tank, which I'm not going to need any of that at all. I need just a little bit of that. Mounting hardware. I think this is air intake. That goes on one. Oh, okay, yeah. So this goes with this onto one side. I don't know which side. And then this will be the intake. These are universal size, so I can always use the old one from the Russian one, or I can buy a new stainless steel one online, which is probably what I'll do since this one's getting kind of rusty. 5 years worth of use. So look at compared how much bigger the Russian one is for the same rating. This one's rated at 5 kW. This one's rated at 5 kW. That's the Russian model I have as a 44D. Correction, I just had to go look up. This one is rated as 4 kW. This one's rated as 5 kW. So I don't know how that could be when this one's significantly larger and heavier, and this one's rated for higher kW. Maybe because there's no governmental or any kind of control to prevent false advertising. I don't know. As long as it works good, that's fine with me. I won't return it, but I'll see how the install goes in upcoming video. Yeah, see the remote controls are not universally adaptable. I can't switch one to another because they're all proprietary. I mean, I could if I study electronics for a couple of years. I'm sure I can somehow hack the install to get the new remote control to work on the Russian one, but no, I'm not going to do that. Actually, the Russian exhaust pipe is not rusting at all. It's the clamp around it that rusted. And the Russian one is superior because it has an insulator here, an insulating barrier to keep the underside of the van around the fuel tank from getting too hot. And this one fails to have anything like that. So I could take this off, use the pipe, put a new silencer on it, use the Russian pipe on the Chinese heater, and then whoever I give this to will get this Chinese exhaust pipe. So that's what I'm going to do. Every time I run into a quality problem with the Chinese, I'm going to see if there's a higher quality component from the Russian one that I can take off and put over here. Since I have the short wheelbase Sprinter van that's insulated fairly well, I don't think I'm concerned about the kW. As long as I have a heater that works, that's all I need personally. But if I had something like a long wheelbase that's poorly insulated or has lots of windows, I would be very concerned, and I would probably just go ahead and return this and get a bigger one, because when I ran the Russian one, this was really too much. This was dangerous, actually. It was putting out so much heat, so intensive amount of heat, that if the controller wasn't properly set, which is actually difficult to do with this one, I'll put that sticker on there. This controller is so bad. All it does is show one Celsius number with some dashes, and you have to learn like a programming language that the Russians came up with of what the 3 dots mean along with the 3 dashes when they run together in different series, what each program means, and that's not intuitive at all. So I'm switching to the Chinese for the intuition type controller. I'm hoping it is. I'm pretty sure it is. But this controller has got to go. This is a terrible POS. Should never. The Russians are, I guess they were just in a hurry to go home and drink some vodka instead of improving this. It's freaking terrible. This is really bad. The heater is good. This controller is extremely bad. If I could have found a better controller, I would have kept the Russian one. Okay, so I hope this helping you decide what to do. And if you're wealthy, you can get the German-made one. They're about $1,200 on up, and you can hire someone to install it. The installation can cost around $5,000, but that's a ripoff because this is I would say about a 2 to 3 hour installation for someone who knows what they're doing, including cutting the hole in the floor of the van. Probably about 3 hours. So at, let's say, $150 an hour, that should be $450 in labor. But no, they want $5,000 because they're taking advantage of people who don't understand that this is really a simple process to install these if you have experience installing it. So there's a difference between knowing how to install it and actually having experience installing it. You can read directions how to install it, but that's still going to cause a difficult install. But if you have experience installing these, then the next one's going to be a lot easier. Also, look at how much longer the Russian exhaust is, which is good to get the exhaust to the rear of the vehicle and out away from the living area. I mean, not the living area, but the intake. So this should be kind of far away from the intake, so you're not breathing in the well, actually, you don't really breathe in the chemicals because this is an enclosed heater inside. It's metal, so it heats the inside, and there are fins on top that radiate the heat out. So all you're getting is recirculated cabin air that's heated, and the toxic diesel burning fuel does go out the exhaust. So it's not terribly important, but I still like to keep it further away than this ridiculously short distance. This is not good. So generally I don't trust the Chinese or the Russians for anything, but this one is actually supposedly built by the Russian military, so it may be it's a good product, except you've heard me complain enough about that. This doesn't look like a great product, but geez, for the price. So I'll put the link to this one in the description, as well as maybe a few other ones for you to choose from. All right, if you have questions about installing these, let me know in the comments. I'll see if I can help you out. Oh, one thing, going back to size again, that I'm going to be happier with the Chinese one. This one was really a little bit too bulky for my situation, and this is going to be a nicer fit. I usually don't beg to subscribe and hit the bell icon because it's getting so ridiculous, overused, but in this case, since I will have a install video coming up, feel free to go ahead and do that so you can catch that video coming up, or at least to get suggested the video on the sidebar.